This is how I paint a muskie, in this case one from Del Hollow, but this is the way I do a muskie. Well, this is my first attempt. I don't like the bar pattern at all. I love the color of the head. The back is okay. Maybe even a little bit more rich brown along the back. I mean, from my reference pictures, what I've seen. The fish, like in Del Hollow Lake, they tend to have a little bit of a barred pattern. It's not real noticeable sometimes. I mean, I know all fish are different, but it seems like the waves, the pattern, the bar pattern has kind of a wave to it. It seems like from the, I guess this would be the pectoral fin. Seems like it waves back like this. Well, yeah, like this. It goes like this. The pattern, the bar pattern does, roughly. It goes like that. Then towards the belly, somewhere around in here, it starts going almost straight up. And they start breaking off into little spots towards the back of the tail. That's kind of the anatomy of the bar and spot pattern. Well, the coloration of the top of the head. That's about the only good thing I can say about it. Okay, you want to paint the lower belly. And I'm going to go ahead and paint all the fins white too. I'm going to go ahead and whiten these back up. Black will do that to you if you try to highlight with it. I run into that a lot. I end up, sometimes I'll neglect trying to highlight the fins a lot, you know, to make the rays stand out because I know what the black's going to do. So sometimes I avoid highlighting the fins too much because you'll end up darkening the fin too much. I do that a lot, unfortunately. And obviously I do mess fish up and have to start over. I didn't have all the right colors for one. And there's so many paint schedules out there. You know, you can look at the wrong paint schedule. Or, you know, try to blend 2 or 3 different paint schedules together. And that will mess you up too. And it's pretty much the bar and pattern is what convinced me that I needed to repaint this thing. Plus, you don't want an unhappy customer. So, I'm going to go ahead and whiten all my fins. And then I'll get back with you. You want to whiten the lower jaw and everything. I've already done it once, but I'll do it again. The lower jaw, inside the mouth, all this gets good and white. Make sure you whiten it up real good. Might take a while. The lower jaw. You gotta turn the fish sideways. Feel free to do it. All the fins get good and white. Yeah, the belly's already white, so I don't have to worry about overspray, you know, with this color. You can go lightly and have more of a fleshy color because of the gill red that's probably already on there. Some people do that. And that's another reason it's good to know how to do reproduction, because if you screw a fish up, you don't want to have to strip it and start over again. You know, at least knowing like kind of a tinning method will save you from having to re-strip it and start over again. And, you know, you could apply the tinning method anyway. All you have to do is just whiten it up a little bit and start over again. Now, there's so many colors, preceding colors before your final color. It's not that big of a deal. go ahead and get all your fins like that, and I'll show you what we do next. Make sure you get under the belly real good. You know, turn the fish however you gotta do it to get it. I keep my bowl kind of low. I don't have to turn my fish that way, but then you kind of go up on the sides. Usually from about the top of the pectoral to about the top of the pelvis. And then from there, it seems like it, you know, even this part, a lot of times there's not even no white above the fin right here. From what I've seen, you know, on some of my reference pictures. In other words, down here towards this anal fin, the bar pattern actually goes all the way down. So this is kind of incorrect, sort of. But a lot of fish painters do it. A lot of your old timers and everything. Because most of your other fish, that's how it is. So I've painted the belly. This gill area, you know, I'll tend to, it's like with any bass, a lot of times I'll take that color up. You know, everything underneath, it's all white. Basically, what sees the sun first is the darkest. The back is darkest. The sun comes down. The belly's a little bit lighter, or the side is lighter. That's where all your details for your fish is. Then the belly is always white. So a lot of it is, you know, you look at it like that. The sun dictates that the top is always the darkest part. Okay, all this can get white right here. I chose to whiten this up because to me, it almost has to be white. I've seen so many, every muskie paint schedule I've seen, this is not white. But I know when this maxillary comes down and his mouth is open, this has to be white. It has to be. Just like on a bass. Because it's closed, there's not going to be no pigmentation there. So, just make sure it's good and white. Which I already did. I don't think it'd be wrong to take that white up into here like you do on a bass. You know, maybe a little bit, or at least lightly. All this, the gills right here, get good white. Paint your gills white. I already painted them red, but yeah, make sure they're good and white before you put your gill red on. Lower jaw, good and white, all these good and white. Tell I put a little bit of flesh there, you can tell by the red. I'm so unhappy kind of like with how the fish turned out. Some of the spotting may be savable, but I'm going to do it just like you would a reproduction. I like the back a little bit, but definitely the head is perfect. There's nothing wrong with the head. What it is, a mixture of rich brown and green. And around here on Del Hall, they tend to be a little bit more on the green side, but you don't want it to look either green or brown. So it's a cross between rich brown and medium green. And a lot of times the medium green will win out a little bit. You know, on the head mainly. So, you know, if I can, that's about the intensity the spots ought to be anyway. I went too dark with them, for one, and they weren't right. They didn't look good. Paint the back if you want to. It's up to you. I've already painted it once. I mean, yeah, it's not going to hurt. It's all got to be painted anyway, so. Now, if you're doing the Ohio muskie or spotted muskie, it'd be a cinch because all it is spots. But around here, like Del Hollow Lake, yeah, they're not spots. They're definitely a vague barring pattern and spots on the end. They tend to be yellow with a rich brown back and spots, and a greenish top head. That's what we've got. We can still see, I can see the spot pattern just barely, but actually that's almost good enough from what I've seen from some of the muskie, the reference pictures around here. Like the spotting pattern isn't very vague. In other words, I was pretty strong on my spotting pattern anyway, so I probably need to slow down, take my time, and make sure my bar and my spotting pattern, make sure that's what makes a muskie. I got to make sure it looks good. The way the waves go, they kind of go like this and then go up. They kind of like angle back from the bottom and go up, and then towards the middle, they'll tend to come up towards the back. And then, of course, it's going to break off. You're going to have some spots and stuff like that. So I just got to make sure it looks realistic. I think my barring pattern before, what was wrong with it was I broke it up too much. And it just went a little too far where it didn't even look like a barn pattern. It started looking like some kind of weird design or something. So, yeah, you don't want to make the barn pattern solid, but you definitely want it to still be a barn pattern. Okay, now I've got silver pearl. Some paint schedules call for painting the inside of the mouth white pearl, so that's an option. This particular paint schedule, you paint everywhere the white is, underneath the belly even. All that gets painted. I've already done this once, so I'm sort of doing it again. Don't worry about the fins, but this is a silver pearl. Maybe getting the lower jaw. Giving the cheek. I just don't want to mess my head up. I like the way I've done my head. But basically do everything. This is just, I'm going to end up making this color again anyway for the back. I'm just putting a moderate coat. That's going to make it give a little bit of shimmer, which is always good. And it helps cover up too, like. Make sure you get the belly real good underneath with a medium coat. Okay, now I've got yellow ochre. Basically, I'm going to cover the side of the fish with that prominent yellow color that we see on the muskie around here. This is a light to medium coat, so I'm just going to put a sweeping pattern. I want it to grow on there. And you want to fade it out at the fin bases. I may have actually let my overspray go down a little bit too far, but now that yellow ochre on top of that pearl is a real good effect. Real good effect. Actually calls to put it on top of the head. And we also get the gills. Want to make the gill flap, the cheek, all this gets it. This is kind of like your base colors for your fish. Basically, I'm painting this like a reproduction, so I'm having to incorporate, you know, some of my base colors because I'm started from white, essentially. That's about the right intensity. I can lighten it up with my next color anyway. You know, some people are real good at, you know, the colors, getting the colors right on the fish, and then they'll have a hard time with the details. A lot of times I'm better with the details, but I have a harder time getting the basic color right. It's just weird. People are different, you know. I guess you could say I've always been more of a drawer than a painter, and it kind of shows. Some people are more like painters and less like drawers. They're good at getting the colors right. And then maybe not so much the detail work. And I'm kind of the other way around. Better at the detail work, but not getting the colors right. Okay. This is basically just like a, okay, this is, probably want to fade out about right here. I don't want it too dark. Definitely don't want it too dark. But I do want it even. A medium coat on the fins. Probably need to exercise a little bit of control here before too long. On the bottom fins I will, that's for sure. That's about a medium. Tail the same way. Got a medium coat. All my fins this way, the medium coat. Just kind of watch your overspray. Always end up having to touch a belly up anyway. It doesn't bother me that bad. I also want to get the pectoral fins. I've got silver pearl again. It calls for putting on a medium coat. Silver pearl to go over the yellow again. It's definitely going to make it reflective. That is for sure. I guess the medium is basically just adding a little bit of shimmer to it, because you can't get no darker than that. So just gonna add a little bit of shimmer to it. I guess I assume that's a medium right there. About a medium coat, silver pearl. Okay, now I've got my gold sparkle. This is what it calls for. Sparkling gold pearl, gold sparkle. Kind of whatever you want to call it, pretty much. I'm going to kind of go over it with a medium coat. It don't take much, obviously. A medium. Yeah, no more than a medium, that's for sure. I can already see it. Okay, now I've got a little base coat sealer. I just want to kind of flatten my paint out a little bit. See what I got. Now if I was doing the skin mount, basically this is where I'd be starting at. You know, your basic yellowish fish. So, and a lot of them do call for a base coat sealer. You know, to add a little bit of, I guess, shimmer, shine to it. Which is going to have shine anyway where I put all that pearl on there. So that's going to look pretty good. Kind of penciled in a little bit of the wavy bars that I want to put in. You can see that a little bit. That's kind of on purpose, pretty much. So. There we are. I got my air pressure turned down about, oh gosh, I guess about between 15 and 20, I guess. I want to put a pattern in, then work on the, you know, fix it up a little bit better. I think it's going to be my way to go. You got to deal with stuff like this too. Yeah, it's got to be broke up too. You want it to still be a bar pattern, but you want it to, I don't know the right word, but you want it to be bars, even though they're broken up. You still want it to be in the row of a bar, even though it's separated like 2 or 3 spots. kind of get what's going on here. You know, you don't want it branching off and doing weird things, you know. It just, when it's just wavy bars. Now they sway towards the back, towards the front. You get in the middle, they start going straight up. And towards the tail, they stay straight up, up towards the back. I've kind of noticed that. A little bit of a, kind of like a pattern almost. Basically, I'm just getting my design down. That's what I'm kind of doing here. With my air pressure turned down real low. Now here towards the back, they start, well, they do start breaking up a little bit. But even if I just did a bar pattern, you know, all the way to the end, still look better than what I did have, that's for sure. I basically got my bar pattern. Now I'm going to start getting a little bit more detailed with it. Definitely want to keep it light, that's for sure. What I'm going to do is probably end up going up through these spot pattern a little later. I'll show you. going to go over to progressively get a little bit dark with it, but I'm going to go over that and I'll show you what I got when I get done. Well, this is what I got so far. Now I'm going to try to, this is my 50-50 rich brown and black, in case I didn't already mention that. One is polytranspar. The black is polytranspar, and the life tone is the rich brown. Have to keep making sure it stays mixed. Not a bad idea to put a little retarder in it. I think I can get by with it. The problem is, you know, spots that are dark and then spots that are light. It's an airflow problem, basically. That's basically it. Yeah, see, like right now my paint's not blowing. Now it is. Now you can see a bar pattern, but it's not really. You're having trouble with intensity. It'll be dark in one area and light in another. Oh, we got more colors going over this. That'll help. Well, thin my paint down, and basically what I'm doing is just add a little bit of uniformity to it. In some places I'm actually streaking it a little bit, you know, to make it look a little bit neater. Don't want to get carried away, but you know, if you got your airbrush turned down, go ahead and throw some fine details in there if you can. What I'm doing is I got little white spots and I'm trying to go around those markings. That takes away a little bit of the narrowness to it. But you can see I've still got my bars for the most part. And we're going to put, there's going to be another color going over this anyway. Now some of these real narrow ones I don't worry about so much, but some of these more bigger blotchy ones, you know, you want to surround them with little faded dots. What it does, it kind of, it outlines the mark a little bit, and tends to help. So you vaguely a bar pattern, you know, pretty much. So that's kind of what I'm wanting to do. I'm trying to work on that and make it look good. Okay, with this same color, I'm gonna go ahead and apply this is my black and rich brown mixture. Or dark brown will work too. But there is a spotting pattern. It doesn't go all the way to the end. It goes something like that. Same with the tail. Doesn't go all the way to the end. You get the idea. The same with underneath. Spot pattern down here. Kind of like it's floating out. Okay, I got my off-white, I got it thinned down. And I'm going to touch up what I designated as the belly area. Just doing general touch-up because, yeah, I can tell. Well, I kind of straightened it out a little bit. I've got my bottom area designated. And you can see I went up between the markings a little bit, try to make it look a little bit more realistic. Just did a little touching up with my off-white. And I've got silver metallic, and I'm supposed to apply a moderate coat to the lower 2/3 of the fish. I mean, if you went a little higher accidentally or something, it wouldn't hurt anything. We hadn't done the back yet. But a moderate coat. Lower 2/3 of the fish, that would be just slightly above the lateral line. Should be moderate. Yeah, almost too much. Yeah, we're gonna leave it right there. And get the gills. There we are. Yep, a moderate coat. All along the body. Lower 2/3, silver metallic. I've got golden yellow. This paint schedule calls for putting a little bit along the lower 1/4 of the fish. So that's what I'll do. Definitely don't want to make it noticeable. Fading out at the white, the lower 1/4 of the fish. That's basically just a little bit right here at the bottom. That's basically it. You guys can see it a little bit, so I probably need to stop right there. Yeah. I think that's it right there. There we are. Peaks maybe just a hair bit. ever so lightly. Lower 1/4 of the fish. Okay, now I've got my medium green. I'll go right along the back. What it is, we're going to put 2 parts green and rich brown, and we're going to come up with a color that's neither green nor brown. A lot of these fish I have seen a rich brown back, so kind of, I guess, let that be your guide. Your own personal fish be your guide. But my goal is to stay just on top of this stuff. A little bit lower than that. That's about right. A little bit more. That's about where I want to go. I don't want to go much farther down than that. That's for sure. Of course, the top of the head, the snout, all this gets it around the eyes. And I have seen it where the head was like really green. I mean, even more green than like medium green. Just really green. For whatever reason, they'll hollow fish. As you can see right there, a little bit more on the green side there. I want to take this down in front of the door so here. Hang a little bit. But I do want to stay up on top though. It's kind of a judgment call. You see where the top of the head is? There's like a, I guess you could call it an imaginary line, where the top of the back kind of breaks off and then starts to the side of the belly. So you have to kind of find, you know, that imaginary line, I guess is the right word. And then you don't want to go much lower than that imaginary line. Of course, the fish we got, there is a lot of green on them, but the fish we got also have brown on them too. Pretty close as far as where I want to go down with this color. That's about right. Well, here's where it comes right off the head. Goes right through here. There we go. That's about right. pretty close. I don't want to dip down too far with it. That's it. That's a medium green. Okay, also you want to hit some of your fins with this. Looks like the tail gets it. You know, not a lot. You don't want to kill everything out. Probably more towards the base, I guess. Same with this one. Don't want to kill the yellow out completely or anything, but you want to, I guess, put a little bit in there. And you also want to get your pectorals, probably more towards the leading edge. Just add a little color. Kind of camouflages your spot pattern. Kind of makes it look a little bit better. I'm a little bit messy with it, and kind of helps camouflage it a little bit. Just want to, you don't want a hint of it, just to be able to see it, you know. There we are. You just want to be able to know it's there. Basically. Definitely know it's there. Apparently leave the pelvic and the anal fin alone. I'm going to carry this green down just a little bit more from the back. Just a little. It says the upper 1/4, so I know it's about right in here. Let's see. About right. Don't want to go down too low or anything. Right there. There we are. Okay, now we go to rich brown. Chocolate brown, whichever you want to call it. Now my goal is to go along the back, everywhere where we put the green, and make it where, when you look at it, it doesn't look really green or brown, but kind of like in between. That's everywhere we put the green in on the fins, everything. Just put a little bit there, put a little bit on the fin, so just lightly. It won't take much. See how we're kind of changing the value of the green. Do the snout this way too. I'm mainly doing it for the camera, but you probably want to tip your fish, you know, sideways where you can see the top a little better. And go right along the very top of it. How it's changing, it's not really green anymore. That's what you're after. Everywhere you put green, put a little bit of brown. Make it where it's not really green anymore. There you go. So it looks like in between. Also the pectoral, of course, same thing here. Can't leave it out. Can't neglect it. Turn the fish up so I can hit it with a proper intensity. Not putting enough paint on the back. And believe it or not, the greenish head is perfect. I kind of like that a lot. Favoring the green, at least on the head. But I have seen it where the back is, just like they say, really a rich brown. But I want a smooth kind of mix, I guess. Yeah. Just got to be able to put enough color on the back. I'm just so used to getting it from the top, you know. The good thing about just shooting it from the side, you know you're not going down too far that way. Basically what happens is, right off the top of the head, along the top of the back, there's like an imaginary line, I guess. There's like a flat spot. It's like the back has a little bit of flatness. Then it breaks down to the rest of the body. So that's basically what I'm doing. Just staying right along the back. Just want to go down so far. About a fourth of the way down is, I guess, what they're getting at. And that's it. That's it right there. Looks like I went down a little bit far right here. About what I want right there. About what I want. I got jet black. I was supposed to go right up over the back. You know, to tone the back down there where I think it needs to be. I don't think it needs to be much darker, to be honest with you. You do put a little bit of darkness. Don't put much. You know. That's good enough for me. Okay, now I've got a couple of paint schedules. I've got one that wants me to use deep gold pearl. It's kind of a reddish gold. And the upper 1/3 of the fish. Just to add a little bit of sparkle. But another paint schedule calls for me just to use regular gold sparkle. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's called gold sparkle. But if you use the gold sparkle, then it wants you to put red over the top of the gold sparkle. So I've got two choices. Either go deep gold pearl, which is kind of a reddish color, or go with gold sparkle and then throw a little bit of red over the top of the gold sparkle, which will probably make it about this color. But yeah, the fish that we have around here definitely do have a kind of a rich brown colored back. I've seen it. So yeah, choices. Oh, then I got another paint schedule that calls for using bronze up there. So there's like three choices. You can either use bronze, deep gold pearl, or gold sparkle, and go over the gold sparkle with a hint of red. So that's kind of what I've got going on. I decided to go with sparkling gold. And I'm just going along the back just to get a little bit of sparkle. And I'm not going to overdo it. I'm going to go down about 1/3 of the way. Actually, it calls for putting it on the lower part of the body anyway. Yeah, I've got my gold sparkle. I went a little over the back. I'm going to lightly go over my whole side of the fish. Even the cheeks, the gill plate. Just add a little sparkle. It's real easy to overdo it. That's good enough right there. I've got my gill ready. I'm just going to very lightly go over the back. What it is it changes the color of that gold sparkle. Where you're going over the gold sparkle. And almost out the head with it. Just the very top of the back. You know, I'm going to hit it. Very top of the back. And I can still see the green underneath. That's, I think, the name of the game. Still be able to see the green underneath. And that's enough. Red's very powerful. And I don't want to go much lower than that with it. Yeah, red is powerful. It's enough red for me. Actually, there's supposed to be a hint of red, and I don't see the hint of red. So I'm going to keep putting it on until I see a hint of red. about there. Our fish do have a rich brown back, and this hint of red is kind of doing the same thing. Even though hint of red along the back. You still want to see the green and the pearl underneath, of course. So yeah, we definitely want to see that still. Hint of red, which rich brown is doing the same thing. Almost there. A hint of red. Well, that's it. Considering it's not something you have to put on there really per se. Okay, now I've got red violet. And pretty much everywhere the silver metallic is, there's still a hint of silver metallic. Well, I want a hint of this red violet in those same areas. Pretty much anywhere you got silver metallic, you usually got a hint of violet. In this case, I got red violet. Just want to be able to see it. Just a hint of it. Starting to see it. You're also going to get the cheeks. Video. Just a hint of it. There we are. Okay, now I've got Gill red. And I want to, I guess you could say, a light coat. Calls for a light coat. Until you achieve the desired intensity that you want. About 160 right there. That's about it right there. That's about it right there. Let some of that yellow shine through, obviously. about what we want right there. Maybe put a little bit more on this. Angle there. If you put it on light enough, it does have a good effect with the yellow. So something to think about. Red. I always have to end up touching up. There we are. Okay, now you want to paint the gills with the gill red also while you're at it. So I'll stick as many paper towels as you need in there. Looks like that's more than enough right there. Try to be neat with it. And a lot of times that last gill where it touches the skin, I try to be neat with it too. Try to round it off real nice. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. There's a good chance I'm in the way. But like this last gill, you just kind of round it off where it looks neat. Trying to do it where you can see it, it's not easy. See, I kind of round it off. That just looks better. To the goal, you know. If you see it with your eye, you should be able to get it. Yeah, you can see how I kind of tried to round it off a little bit. Tried to do it in front of the camera. Didn't work too good. But you get the idea. But you can see how the gills are. I painted it before. But I tried to stay off the goal. If you do get on it, just touch it up. Just try not to miss anything. There's a little bit of white right here. And if you can see it, you should be able to get it. See a little bit there. And if you get a little bad with your red, touch it up with your off-white, which I did a little bit. Okay, now I've got my off-white again. Yeah, if you see like a bad place, feel free to, lighten it back up. I know you can't see that, but you get the idea. Whiten everything back up. There you go. Got a little happy with my red. I still got my white. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of touch up around here a little. Can't go wrong with touching things up. Kind of free it up a little bit. It's easy to do. Down here, the same thing. Same thing with the angle. Okay, still got my white. Some paint schedules call for this. Kind of the lower edge of the pelvic and the anal. It's the lower edge. And the anal, the same thing. A lot of people don't even do this. I don't know how much it matters. There you go. Oh yeah, after you paint your gills, don't forget to take your paper towels out. That'd be a rough one to explain. There you go. Okay, now we're going to spray the front edges. We want to bring the fin rays out, but you can tell, look how the fin is already too dark. But we're going to deal with it. But I want to bring out the fin rays just a little. I've got black. And I hate messing the fins up like this. I get them too dark, in other words. I really do. So you just want to, just a couple of passes. Extreme frontal angle. That's it. I can live with that. I'm not highlighting the whole fin, I'm just doing about the 2/3 of it closest to the body. Just angle spray a little bit, just to bring out. Kind of hard to do here. Just to bring out the rays, and that's it. Just to bring out the rays. Extreme frontal. Don't take much. That's it right there. It's either that or have like a super dark fin, and you don't want a dark fin. Just ever so lightly. Front edge of it. There you go. That's it. Extreme frontal angle as you can get on it. Just to bring out the fins and let it ride. Just to bring out the rays a little bit so it looks good. ochre. This should have already been done back when I applied yellow ochre to the body. Way back when I first started. Since I repainted it, I forgot to do it the second time. But here on the end of the lower jaw, you get your yellow ochre. And when you carry it up, we'll go under the, just like you do with bass or anything. You want to angle spray one way, angle spray the other. You come back from the rear, hit the lower jaw a little bit, like right here. Just like you do with bass or anything, about right there. There we are. Probably even get the max story a little if you want to. These whip gets a little bit, looks like. Repaint those teeth. Now you go to your mixture of, it would have been the rich brown and black, 50-50, rich brown and black. Dark brown will work in a pinch, almost the same exact color, just dark brown. I got my dark brown, or 50-50 rich brown and black. On the end. I actually put a little bit of medium green on there too, from a different medium green. Okay, go from the rear, bring out that lower jaw a little bit, or the lower jaw corner, you know, about right here. Bring that out. You want to hit it from here too. Just like you do a bass or anything. Mainly on the ends. And sometimes you'll see little bits of detail up through here. And you can replicate those if you want to. Right along that lower jaw there. Got my wad again. I'm just going to clean those teeth up a little bit. It's going to stay inside the gum line. So what I'll do is I'll get a little bit of lacquer thinner and put it on the Q-tip. Good. Let's see. Like that. And right now, I'll roll it one time just to take it some of the, just where it's not so sopping wet that it's going to drip down the paint job. And then I'll proceed to clean the eye off. Okay, now we just gloss the fish. helps to have a gloss gun. Get the gills real good. Top of the head. Everywhere. Might want to put a flash coat first. A good old flash coat first, you know. Get the belly real good. Turn your fish sideways so you get your belly. All your good fins. Everything. Well, this is how I paint a muskie, in this case one from Del Hollow. But this is the way I do a muskie.